Jack, can you just talk a little bit, kind of a slow start offensively. Defense held you guys in there until you guys could get things going offensively.
Well, one of the things that happens in football is sometimes kids try too hard, and that's when you have all these mistakes that we had, especially offensively in the first half. And I think we're real fortunate that our defense rose to the occasion, and we went into halftime with a 14-3 lead.
Game seemed to kind of break open when Jared got involved. It just all of a sudden the switch turned and he was making things happen. Obviously he had a huge day too. I don't know if you know the numbers, but
yeah, I heard it was something like 7 for 170, well, the major thing is that during pregame with the rain, it was real difficult holding on to the ball and throwing it. And part of our game plan was to establish the run first, because we didn't think that this was one of the stellar run fronts that La Crosse has had. And so we tried, but then we kept having errors from the football, and it was time and I think Jared got us going with that exceptional catch on the sideline. And it was great. I mean, that's what got us going, and we never looked back.
thank you.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the running game, John? You said that's something that you were really hoping to see come alive this week, and the guys seem to come through for you this week.
Well, I told our offensive line every football game, at times gives you an opportunity for redemption. And last week against Stout, we had a rough time. They had a good run front and defense against the run, and I said, here's an opportunity to, prove that you're an outstanding offensive line. And when they got it going, and when Furman started, getting it up in there and rolling over people, it really was, determine the outcome of this game, because they couldn't stop the line in Furman.
How about Furman? Obviously, he kind of got the call after the 2 fumbles by the other 2 guys. He just gets it done for you out there.
Yeah.
Not spectacular, nothing flashy, but
we were looking for somebody to hold on to the football, and if Furman would have fumbled it, we would have started over. And I guess I made an impression upon him, because he hasn't played much this year, that if you hold on to the ball, you're going to be playing all the time, and it worked. So.
One last thing, John, 3 in a row over La Crosse. That hasn't happened for quite a while for you guys. That has to feel kind of good for this program.
Well, that was one of the goals that I presented to the team yesterday, was the fact that in modern times, the WIAC records back in 1973, no senior class has beat this team 3 times in a row. So our seniors are going all 3-1, and that's a major accomplishment. I think the seniors last year were the first ones to do back-to-back, and so now the senior class 3. And our other goal was, with a win today, that assures our senior class that they've never had a losing season here at Stevens Point. And so those are the 2 things that we wanted to achieve for our seniors today, here, at Gerke Field.
Big game for you. It seems like you've been kind of waiting for kind of one of those breakout games this year. What was out there for you, and did they kind of motivate you? It looked like you were extra motivated.
Yeah, I really want, obviously as a wide receiver, I like to get the ball, and but we tried to establish the run early. We knew that would be a big factor for us, especially like with it being wet out. But after that little incident on the sideline, that just gave me a little bit more adrenaline just to get pumping and going. And that's one thing you never want to do, is awake a sleeping beast, and that's what they did right there. And that's, it just worked out best for us.
They came in with a reputation for having a pretty good secondary. Were you surprised you didn't see a little more double coverage out there?
Well, maybe they thought because it was slick out, they didn't really have to, or something like that. I know one of their really good corners actually ended up getting hurt earlier in the season, which was devastating, because he was a really good player. But I thought I'd see a couple more like double coverage or something like that, but they didn't do it or something like that, so we just took advantage of it.
Just talking to coach and stuff, you guys wanted to establish the run today, especially after last week and with the weather. Can you just talk a little bit about how important that was for you guys up front?
I mean, they kind of threw a lot of stuff at us, and we knew after watching film and stuff they were going to throw a lot at us, kind of like Oshkosh did, and we felt at Oshkosh we made it too complicated. And this week we simplified it, a couple plays here and there. That's it. That's all we were running, and helped us out a tremendous amount to simplify it and know their fronts, know their blitzes. We worked on their blitzes a lot this week, so we watched a lot of film, worked on their blitzes, and.
What does it feel like you when the coaches show the confidence in you guys to keep pounding the ball and keep pounding the ball?
You know, it's pat on the back almost. You know, it's just like you said, it's just confidence in us. I mean, we got a veteran group up there and big guys. I mean, they were pretty big up front too, but big guys. We can all move. We're all pretty athletic, and we just feel we're up to the challenge every week.
Talk a little bit about Kyle too. He's been kind of sitting back, waiting for his time.
Furman?
Yeah, the first two guys fumble. He gets his time today, and he just pounded it up there.
I'll tell you what, he is the hardest runner I think I've ever blocked for. He's excited every time he carries the ball. He works his tail off. He's huge. Man, I don't know. He just works hard, and I mean, we love blocking for everybody. Don't get me wrong, but he just gets us all jacked up because he's fired up. He's dragging 6-7 guys at a time, you know. So.
Good call about getting your shot here. The first two guys fumble. They put you in there. Just what goes through your mind, and do you kind of know what they want out of you and what your job is to do?
Well, you know, it's stepping in and doing the job. I mean, the first guys, they're very good. They're very good, and I got my shot and tried to make the best of it.
Can you just talk kind of a little bit about, does it make all the 3 previous years, this season that you're having this year with the goal line situation, everything just so worthwhile for you?
Oh yes, every year is worthwhile. I mean, okay. I love this. I love the game. Yeah, every year is worth it. I mean, every year I step on this field, I just love to play. And last year, sitting out because of knee injuries, just made me want to play even more. So yes, this year is just making it worthwhile.
How would you describe your running style, Kyle?
I'm more of a power back. I've been noticed to be slow, so yeah, I don't know. I like to go and hit people. That's just how I am.
Okay.
I like to get those tough yards.